What's up, Thumpers? Welcome back to another episode of Hyper Heroes here on Hyper Rabbit Power Go. Thank you guys so much for joining us. It's a rare occasion. It's bright out today. We don't have to use any lights today to light us.
News on the newspaper page.
You have the day off today.
I do have the day off today. A very special shout out to my homeboy, Cesar Chavez. He's not my homeboy. He's not my homeboy.
He must be now.
It is a very special day for to celebrate and to remember Cesar Chavez, who fought for the rights of immigrants, field workers, and people like that. My dad told me that he used to march with Cesar Chavez.
That's crazy.
Back in
Oh,
the
wow.
day. Yeah, so he didn't know him personally,
my
but
friend
he did.
Marina's mom marched with him
too.
Wow.
as well.
Yeah. My parents were field workers, so they got rights because of that, man. As workers, obviously. So it's a good day.
Yeah. So I'm sorry that you're here.
It's fine. This is fun.
You said you had the day off, and I was like,
listen, homie.
Oh, really? Cool.
Because of his actions, my parents got better work pay, which
Yeah.
means that I am here now.
Yeah.
So this is
There you go.
awesome consequence of what
Of
that was
those
happening
actions.
back in the day.
Yeah.
So
In case anybody hasn't seen it, to try to relate Cesar Chavez Day to film, the movie Cesar Chavez, starring Michael Pena, if you haven't seen it yet, highly recommend it. I believe, I think Diego Luna was a producer on it.
Oh, cool.
And it stars Michael Pena, Rosario Dawson, who played Dolores Huerta. And it's a fantastic film, and it came out and had so little promotion. And I remember that I had to track it down at a theater, and then I had to track it down on Blu-ray. And I think I let somebody borrow the Bluray, and then I don't even have it anymore.
They never returned it?
You have to
It's one of those?
I have to rebuy it. But it was a thing that had so little kind of budget around its marketing. But it was a fantastic biopic. I don't say biopic. It's a biopic.
It's biopic.
Watch it.
Biographical picture.
Fantastic film.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Learned a lot.
If I find it, if I find it on any streaming service, I'll link it down in the description.
Oh,
so,
dude, I'll find
so
it
take a
right
look.
now.
Yeah.
So
I'll
take
find
a
out
look.
right now if it's streaming.
Go
Do it.
celebrate.
Do it.
Go
Find it.
celebrate.
I'll
Learn
find
a
it
word
right
in
now.
Spanish.
Yeah.
Hola.
Too.
¿Cómo estás?
Well, you already know those
¿Cómo
words.
está
So learn a
usted?
new word.
Nosotros.
Por la raza.
So this is a nice rare opportunity. It's really nice to be able to shoot something during the daytime.
It's on Amazon Prime, and it's on Hulu.
Is it really?
Yeah,
There you go.
stream it
For
right
real?
now.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Dude, today's the day we're going
Today
to stream
is the
it.
day.
Y'all should.
Yeah,
there you go.
I
and
I
Hulu.
can't promise I'm not just going to constantly stare out the window.
Oh, I know. Isn't it nice?
Because I'm just like, oh, this is so great.
Normally we see the pit of darkness out there, and there's nothing. You just see taillights just zipping by.
This is
Now
great.
it's like, oh, there's people, there's
life.
humans.
It's just
Another
a
thing,
freeway, guys. It's
I
just
know,
a
I
freeway.
know, but it's nice to see civilization. The other thing we did is we asked you guys to submit questions on Patreon. It was an open public post. You guys could submit questions, so we're going to go through those at the end.
Okay.
There's not a whole lot of news to discuss, but some of this stuff could get juicy. So let's get into it. The first bit of news, Angelina Jolie is in talks to be joining Marvel Studios TheEternals, a movie that's potentially going to be going into pre-production or production sometime in September in London. Eternals is a property that I'm not super familiar with.
Yeah, it's very obscure.
We're starting to get into the deep cuts of the Marvel universe, which I like. And, of course, this movie has not been officially announced, meaning they haven't put out any sort of press release, but Kevin Feige has kind of become pretty open about talking about Eternals and the director that they have, Chloe Zhao, and what they're hoping that the Eternals brings to the Marvel Cinematic Universe and how it can kind of propel the next phase and all that sort of stuff. But Angelina Jolie, they did not report what character she could be playing.
She's probably playing Sersi.
Yeah.
Probably. Sersi is one of the prominent characters in the Eternals lineup, and she was an Avenger for a long stint.
Gotcha.
So she's kind of outside of, I think Icarus is the main guy. I think she's one of the faces of the Eternals.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the fact that they're getting a high profile actor like Angelina Jolie. We're running out of actors. They're gonna start repeating.
They're gonna need to start importing actors.
They're about to announce Jeff Bridges is in Eternals, and people will be like,
Excuse me.
Hey, we got Edward Norton for Eternals. They're gonna start recycling some of their earlier actors.
We got Robert Downey Jr. coming into the Eternals too.
They're gonna start casting the entire DC cast lineup.
Right.
Yeah,
we got Henry Cavill. We got Ben Affleck.
Zachary Levi is coming back.
So she is one of the best actors, and she's such a great like producer and storyteller and director. So it's like a huge get. It also speaks to the quality of, I mean, every Marvel movie from the beginning, talking about Jeff Bridges, talking about, Robert Downey Jr., has always stacked their casts even for obscure characters, and then they end up being everybody's favorite characters, Right. Even Rocket Raccoon, they're like Bradley Cooper is voicing Rocket. Like Vin Diesel is Groot.
Kurt Russell is Ego, the Living Planet.
Yeah, exactly, for just a little one-offs.
Yeah.
But this seems like it could be something that she might appear in a couple of films or different projects. The second thing it makes me think of is I'm so pissed that Marvel Television did Inhumans, because Inhumans
kind of killed it. Yeah.
Inhumans, if it were done by Marvel Studios, now I'm like, not to knock on some of the cast members of Inhumans, Anson Mount, who played Black Bolt. Is a great actor, and people are really seeing him strut his stuff in Star Trek Discovery right now. He's playing Christopher Pike, and he's crushing it, and everyone's like, who the fuck is this guy? This guy's awesome. And I think he was in, I forget what other TV shows he's been in, but if the Inhumans had been an MCU film, it could have gotten, like Angelina Jolie could have been playing Medusa. Do you know what I mean? Like that caliber of, do you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, damn it. And it makes me really curious as to, now with the rumors that we're hearing about Marvel Netflix, them selling their props, Disney Plus doing its own thing, Marvel Cinematic Universe and Marvel Studios doing their versions of TV, and they're never acknowledging anything that's happened in the TV shows. It's a one-way street kind of a thing. Is really making me think, damn, are they just going to straight up ignore Inhumans?
No.
And then eventually do an Inhumans movie on their own still someday. I don't know, but the fact that they're doing Eternals before Inhumans makes me think maybe they are acknowledging that the Inhumans is that, and they're like, well, crap, a crappy TV show did one season, now we can't do it. It's like they're the most powerful movie studio. You know what I mean? They're the most powerful creative force in Hollywood. If they really wanted to do Inhumans, they could have.
They will do it.
They will. So I'm thinking man, maybe they really are the TV touched it, we can't do the TV.
I think it's a similar situation like Green Lantern, where they want to sort of give time to pass so they can develop it into its own movie, and then once they feel like, great, a couple years have passed, people at this point have completely forgotten about it.
They might just still reboot
Yeah,
Inhumans.
and great, we're bringing back Inhumans movie, brand new cast.
You know what it reminds me of, too, is because I've been doing the little prep that we've been doing for the thing we're going to do. In Doctor Strange, there was a character. It was played by an Asian actress, and then in the credits, it listed her as Tina Minoru. And then a little bit after that, the Runaways show premiered. And Tina Minoru was the mother of one of the main characters on that show. Nico, I think is her name. I'm blanking on Sister Grimm's. That's so stupid. I love the Inhumans. But her mom is Tina. And then they were straight up asking the TV people. They were like, yeah, no, it's not the same character. Our Tina character has a different backstory than that, And then they asked Kevin Feige, and he said he said, did we ever lame her in the movie? That might have just been an Easter egg in the credits, kind of a thing. So if Kevin Feige was really I don't give a shit about some Inhuman show. No, our character's Tina. The Inhumans thing that's inconsistent. Instead, he backed off, and he was like, it's just an Easter egg we never named her in the movie. That might I don't want to mess up the continuity. He cared that much for a random character in Doctor Strange. One of the characters who I think was killed by Caecilius and the acolytes of Dormammu or whatever. So it's that's a tiny little minor, and Kevin Feige still cared about that continuity versus anytime you ask any executive at Fox for the X-Men movies, they're like, I don't give a shit. They're like, Beast, what are you talking about? Emma Frost? What do you mean? What do you mean?
Who is that? 10 of them.
She was in Wolverine. I don't understand what the hell you're talking about. We have Emma Frost in First Class. No, she was in the Wolverine movie. I don't care what you're saying.
That doesn't even make sense.
That doesn't make sense.
You're not even speaking English right now.
Well, wait.
The reason why I don't think we are going to see that kind of maybe not touching Inhumans, I think you're right, Adam. They're going to let it kind of pass, but only because this whole Fox merger thing it's a huge shakeup. It's I think it gives them leeway, just like they're selling all the Defenders stuff. Everybody knows who the Defenders were. Everybody knows, well, in our communities at least, everybody knows Daredevil and now Jessica Jones, who was a really obscure character before, but she had one of the best shows on there. Everybody made, when Luke Cage came out, he's the black guy that you couldn't, the bulletproof black guy. It was just a big deal, And so I feel like if they could do that to all of those characters, they could easily do it to a show that everybody hated.
Hector, what did you say the second that thing ended?
Let's get the fuck out of here.
Yep.
Felt so bad.
So imagine that sort of response.
Right.
yeah, if I was Kevin Feige and Marvel, I'd be like, let's just wait a couple years. Let's not worry about it.
Exactly.
But when it comes to something like Netflix, yeah, they're definitely probably going to
like
reevaluate, figure out what their strategy is for Daredevil and those characters.
Actors, dude. I hope they use
I really hope they use them too. But
if they wanted to reboot Inhumans, fine. Again, it's everything you guys are saying. But if they were like, we have a new actor playing Matt Murdock, I'd be like, come on, man.
I'm Charlie Coxon.
Charlie busted his ass off. Like, you're trying to tell me you're gonna get a better John Bernthal Punisher? No.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
No, not at all.
Yeah, there's so much to salvage there. So much good talent to salvage.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I think you're right. I think when you get an actor of Angelina Jolie's caliber, you are making a statement, and the statement is, hey, we're really invested and excited about this new property, and we are very much devoted to putting as much effort into these obscure.
Oh, for sure.
Right.
I mean, I don't know what class you would classify the Eternals. C-list, I guess. D-list. Yeah.
E-list.
Honestly, I had never heard of them until they brought it up.
Yeah.
I was like, who the F are these people?
Okay.
I was getting them confused with the what are the big cosmic entities?
Celestials.
The Celestials. I was like, wait, they're doing a Celestials movie?
Yeah.
Just
and that doesn't even make sense.
CG creatures just destroying planets.
Yeah, just touching planets and destroying them. And
the origin of nowhere.
Yeah.
Whose head was that? Let's watch this movie.
Yeah, so I think when you start adding this huge caliber of talent, it brings a lot of interest to the property.
Yeah.
And I think it's essentially how you get people to sort of start going on Google. Who are the Eternals?
Right.
Who is this character? Who is
that's
that
what
character?
I'm gonna do.
Of course, yeah. And I think that's what you want. So I'm pretty sure Marvel Studios, as with all their other movies, they're not expecting people to go into the movie with a plethora of knowledge. They will do their best to not spoon feed you everything, but do a really good job of sort of explaining these are the characters, this is the world, this is what we're
Sersi,
doing.
by the way.
Yeah, that's Angelina Jolie to a T.
Look at that.
Yeah.
That's great.
Look at that.
Okay, I see it.
That costume is ridiculous. Hopefully
Yeah.
we're getting an
they're
update.
not going to use
they're not
that
gonna do
costume.
that. Come on, we
that's
know that.
For sure.
But that's
got to be Angelina Jolie for sure.
So I feel like you're right, Adam. I think at this point we've gotten enough exposure to galactic things and like outer space concepts and stuff like that with the Guardians.
Yeah.
And now Captain Marvel that they don't even necessarily have to spoon feed it to us. Just be like, hey, deep space, we're here. Y'all remember Ego?
Exactly.
Well, check this out.
Yeah, and they've definitely earned the respect of the audience.
Yeah.
People trust them. People trust their decisions and their movies and the paths that they take and the choices that they make. That at this point, everyone is just sort of on the Marvel adventure, whatever it ends up being.
Yeah. Good point.
Yeah. Very exciting.
Well said.
We got so many new Avengers Endgame posters. So many questions are being brought up about these posters.
Specifically one.
The main one is Shuri.
Yeah.
That's the one that's
I like the notes you have here, Adam.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah. So 32 brand new posters, 16 heroes that survived the decimation and 16 that did not survive the decimation.
Yeah.
We got a confirmation on characters that survived that we all kind of assumed were going to be survivors.
Pepper Potts,
and
Happy Hogan,
and a
Wong.
character that we were kind of unsure whether or not they were dead. We knew missing based on the trailers. But the characters confirmed to be alive: Pepper Potts, Happy Hogan, Valkyrie, and Wong.
Yeah.
Which the fact that Happy Hogan gets a poster is amazing.
That's amazing.
Like, dude, just give him an Iron Man suit at some point in this movie. Just do it. Just commit to it.
Yeah.
And obviously there were those photos of Gwyneth Paltrow on the set as Rescue, which I don't know if it was confirmed or debunked that those were real. I think she had posted it, and then she removed it. So. We have to assume that she survived. And then I think the big one that people were sort of waiting on confirmation for was the fact that Shuri is in fact dead. Her life was taken during the decimation of Thanos that Thanos completed.
Yeah.
So that I think all the other ones we knew.
Yeah.
Wasp we knew from the ending scene of Ant-Man and the Wasp. All the other ones we basically saw on screen, including Gamora's death. So no real surprises there. But I am interested to see how we now use Wong, Happy, Valkyrie, and Pepper.
Right.
What are their contributions going to be to the story? I think we even talked about Valkyrie, for example. We know that half of the surviving members of the Asgardian ship were basically left alive.
Yeah.
Someone had to guide them out of there.
Well,
probably Valkyrie, probably Korg, Meek. So I think that's how those characters ended up basically surviving that.
And also, so what does Wong's role play now that Doctor Strange is dead,
right?
He becomes is he the Sorcerer Supreme now?
I gotta imagine he is.
That's what I would imagine because he was his right-hand man. If anybody knew magic as well as Doctor Strange, it was definitely Wong.
For sure.
So I think he's officially the Sorcerer Supreme now, which would be dope.
If Dormammu was smart, he would attack right now. Because, he would be wrinkling and you would see half of the dimension has been decimated. I'm gonna pop in now.
He's like, now is my time.
And then they released 2 other posters. One I think was from Japan, and the other one is from Russia. The one from Japan is awesome. Obviously, it's the 6 Avengers in the middle, surrounded by the supporting survivors, and then at the bottom they have all the silhouettes of all the characters who've been decimated.
Yeah, so that was I thought it was Chinese, wasn't it?
I don't know. I
thought that was the Chinese poster.
I don't know. I can't read Mandarin, Cantonese, or Japanese, so I can't decipher. I can't translate it.
I feel
Good job identifying those languages. By the way,
welcome.
it really bugs me when people just say, "Oh yeah, it's a Chinese." I don't know.
Read Chinese.
It's like, dude,
I don't speak American. Like, all right.
I don't speak Mexican.
I think it's like Cantonese. I don't know. Actually,
Hector,
I don't know.
We're gonna decipher this right now.
I don't know.
But out of the 2 posters that was released, I really like the one that's from Asia, China or Japan. That one to me kind of has like the most striking visual look, and seeing all those characters in silhouette atop the ashes of all the people who have died. It's a very powerful poster.
You know what's funny about the Russian one is that it's front and center is Black
Widow.
Who's Russian.
That's right.
Like, man, they're really leaning into that.
They got a Russian character. That's
I think the interesting thing too. Thanos was very prominently featured in all the marketing in Avengers Infinity War.
Yeah.
He's a little bit more backseat in this stuff. Even in the posters, he's kind of more of the looming figure in the background.
He's the faded figure in the background in basically all the pictures.
Yeah.
Dude, I know he's the big bad,
but still will be, yeah.
What if he's not, though? What if the big bad in this is just undoing what happened? Like, that's the actual...
I think that's...
we've talked about it. We've talked about it because Thanos is like, he won. He's going to be chilling on his farm. Like,
he's like, I got nothing else to do. I did what I wanted to.
You're going to kill me? You're going to beat me up? Like, go ahead, I guess.
Go ahead, but it's done.
It's done. I got a smile on my face, like... don't waste your energy on me kind of a thing. I don't know.
Do you think it would be insane if in the first 15 minutes of the movie he dies?
Yeah, but... Yeah, it would be. It would be. But it makes... Well, I have a feeling that he's not going to be as much of a presence or as much of a focal point as the first film, which was his story, and he was the protagonist.
It'll be the Avengers.
He's in the background. It'll be the Avengers kind of coming back, and towards the end, I think maybe 2 hours into it, maybe 2.5 hours into it, when everybody is restored. That's when Thanos is going to be like, yo, hold up. What the fuck?
Yeah.
I did all this work. And then that's when they, fight him. That's when the big fight happens.
That's when the big
I think that's what's going to happen.
I have a feeling you're right. Yeah. Because if you think about his entire life's goal was to bring balance. He did it. He was chilling in the Philippines in his little thing.
There.
My life is set.
Yeah, I'm good, homie.
He's just going to be observing everybody. He's like, oh, that's cute. You can try that.
Yeah,
that's cute.
Exactly.
Wait, hang on a minute. Quantum realm? Wait, what?
Wait, what?
You did what?
Wait, Scott Lang? I'm getting nervous. And then they do something, and then he's like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like that, huh?
Just like that.
Yeah. No! Because that's Ant-Man going up into his butt.
those videos that people have been making are hilarious.
Those memes are amazing.
Hilarious.
That's great.
But yeah, no, I think you're right. I think this movie is very... And they've said it. We're going to be focusing on the Avengers who were not the main focal point of the first of Infinity War.
Cool.
We spent a lot of time with Tony, Spidey, the Guardians, and Doctor Strange. Now we're going to mostly focus on Captain America, Black Widow, and that surviving team. So that completely makes sense to me.
Everybody forgets Bruce, dude. Bruce is going to be a big
I'm very interested in his story.
Bruce is going to be a huge
thing.
because
he's not in any of the trailers. We see... I think in both trailers we've only seen I think 2 or 3 shots, and they're all from the same scene. It looks like. So I'm very curious what's going to happen with the Hulk in this movie.
Guys, we should save it because we have a big event planned.
I know. I really wanted to go off on my thoughts of why I think, but I'm gonna wait.
It'll be easier once we have everything laid out. Let me tell you to be like, you know what, this is going to happen in Endgame, and that'll be interesting. These 2 characters are going to reunite, and that'll be interesting. What does that mean? So let's save it.
Which is going to drop on April 21st.
21st.
So get excited.
Put it in your calendar.
Put it in your calendar. The other interesting thing, not so much about the characters, but more of the background of the poster. A lot of people are looking and saying, are they teasing the mirror universe? Because there's a lot of shards of glass in these posters.
Really? Come on.
So
I mean, I guess I could see that.
But if you think about it, it's like Doctor Strange could end up coming out of this being the person who sort of masterminded potentially some sort of mirror universe scheme.
It's possible, and it's very that's why I asked about Wong. I was like, Wong might be into because you don't know you don't know if they were able to communicate. Yeah. Like we don't know what the teleporter thing could have done.
I want to save it.
Yeah, exactly.
It reminds me of a thing that Doctor Strange did in one of my favorite comics that I want to save, but that's it. You made me think of something just now.
Right,
I'm gonna write that down.
There was nothing stopping them from him doing this kind of thing and
at any
stuff
point.
happening.
Because we didn't see Doctor Strange on Titan at all times.
We didn't see the prep work when they were coming up with the idea. And then we assume Star-Lord came up with the entire plan, but they're most likely Doctor Strange was like, yeah, that's cool, but check out what I can do.
Exactly.
We don't know what happened.
Exactly.
That's going to be a big point.
So that's kind of what excites me. And obviously, like, look, these could all be theories. It could have nothing to do with the mirror universe. But I think exactly what you're saying. There could have been stuff happening while we were watching the story unfold in Wakanda, the Battle of Wakanda. Yep. There could have been something completely different being planned on Titan. I mean, there's a reason why Doctor Strange was just sitting there waiting for Thanos.
Exactly.
So that's going to be really interesting to see if we go back, which I'm sure we will, through some sort of a flashback to see Doctor Strange potentially could have been the mastermind of this plan the whole time with Wong. And shielding our universe and making Thanos think that he won. And then going back and killing him before all the events could unfold. I mean, it's crazy.
All right. Well, we'll talk about it.
It's going to be so fun to talk about this. So we are going to do the road to Avengers Endgame, which I don't know if we'll end up calling it a road to Endgame.
Yeah,
whatever it ends up being.
We'll come up with a cool name.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Then there's other little bit of casting news. Florence Pugh is in talks to join the Black Widow solo film. Have you guys seen Fighting with My Family?
No.
Where she plays Paige, the wrestler?
No. That's cool.
It's so good.
She's good?
She's absolutely great in that movie. And it was a really, really, really entertaining film. You guys can come in.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. We're just going to keep steamrolling through this. But they haven't said who she's going to be playing. All they did say was she's been on the list for co-starring roles since last fall. Marvel opened up the possibilities at the top of the year and potentially started seeing other actors, but they kept coming back to her, primarily because of all the praise that she had gotten from Fighting with My Family.
Who's she going to play in the Black Widow movie?
That's a good question. Who do you think? Do you think she'll play another Russian spy, or do you think another international spy?
Probably. There's been a couple different Black Widows, and one of them was blonde, and then she became a super adaptoid, which is crazy.
I don't even know what that is.
A super adaptoid is like, it's like in the DC universe, the equivalent is a Mazo. Who's just a robot that can, like, in the presence of other superhumans, absorb their powers and use their powers.
Oh, tight.
So AIM or Hydra developed an adaptoid, and then a super adaptoid did that and can, like, the super adaptoid just goes up against the Avengers, again, like Amazo versus the Justice League, where it's like, oh, that one android can take on all of them because it's doing all their powers at once. And then Yelena something became a super adaptoid herself. Anyway, I'm not going to look her up, but that's cool.
What are you hoping to get out of this Black Widow movie?
There's a bunch of stuff you could do in it. The main thing is that if it's the first of a series or like the swan song retirement of Scarlett Johansson in the role, you got to do that character right. That character has had an interesting role being a supporting character in every movie up to this point, never the focus. So what happens when Natasha's the focus? What does that mean for her character? What is her philosophy? What is her, the same way that Captain America movies tend to go into how Steve Rogers feels about stuff politically. Like, you got to do that with Natasha. Do I want blanks filled in? No. Do I want to see Budapest? Not necessarily. It would be cool
I don't need it.
If it had something to do with anything that she was going through at the time. I don't want to see a movie that's just set in 1996 or something, or just set in 2010, which I think was the year that she encountered the Winter Soldier the last time she encountered him and got shot, and then she said, bye-bye bikinis, and Steve Rogers was like, yeah, I'm sure you look terrible in them. And then 4 years later, they met him again in Winter Soldier. Like, I don't need to just see that the whole time, but I just want there's so much potential because she is like the spy, and we haven't gotten a Nick Fury movie. The closest we've gotten is him being the sidekick to Carol, Captain Marvel, and that wasn't full on S.H.I.E.L.D. with its resources, spy stuff. That was like he's like an agent and kind of like a cop, a rookie cop, and he's learning stuff, and that's going to put him to that place. So like that's what I hope a Black Widow movie does, is that Scarlett's able to act her ass off, and then there's cool spy Jason Bourne style stuff, and less concerned with like, okay, well let's do the world building of the MCU. Like, it's already been built. It's fleshed out. Do I want Winter Soldier in it? Yeah, maybe. because I like their relationship, and you can actually kind of do a little bit of a historical thing there. So that's all. And it could be a lower budget because it shouldn't need a bunch of. It's all just stunts.
No. Yeah,
it's all like
absolutely.
their stunt teams are awesome, and it's mostly that versus like energy and shit being shot out.
Yeah,
Totally.
they don't need those giant universes.
No.
CG background.
No.
Yeah.
Would you guys want Hawkeye in it?
Yeah, sure. Clint. Yeah, man.
Hawkeye can be in it.
Yeah,
they got some
so
cool
it could
stuff.
be Widow as like the main character, and then Hawkeye
in
can be her
Mightiest
Fury.
Heroes, the cartoon, they do a pretty cool Black Widow Hawkeye kind of thing. And I would like to see something like that. I think that'd be okay. My thing is that I'm not a huge like spy movie guy.
Sure.
Okay.
So
yeah, you don't like the Bournes.
Don't like
you don't
the
like Bonds. You don't like Mission Impossibles.
I'm okay with Mission Impossibles, but those movies just kind of don't attract me.
Sure.
But I'm willing to give this one a shot for sure, especially if Scarlett Johansson. They owe her this to say the least. You know? Even Black Widow, like they just owe this character this to say the least.
I'm gonna pretend like I'm not hurt by the fact that he just said what he said about Mission Impossible and Bond, but
it's all right, man.
They're okay, guys. I don't hate the movies. They're okay. They're just not my cup of tea.
I know.
Y'all don't like Lord of the Rings as much as I do.
That's
and I don't
true.
get all butthurt.
That's true.
All right.
That's right.
All right.
The more I watch them, the more I'm like,
they're cinematic masterpieces, you guys.
So good.
They're pretty good.
I did notice you have the Hobbit movies. Do you have the Hobbit movies?
Yeah, I got them. You want them in 3D?
I might.
Bring it. Yeah.
Eventually.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna end off by we got through this really quick. We're gonna end up by taking your guys' questions. I did ask everyone on Twitter and on Instagram, and I said go to our Patreon. I left an open public post for you guys to post questions. We've been getting questions, or we've been getting asks from you guys to implement viewer questions back into the show.
Yeah.
So moving forward, that's how we're going to be doing it. We're going to be doing it through Patreon. We'll reveal in a bit how and why and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
We are going to be revamping the Patreon. I think we're going to try to do a little cast photo shoot after this.
Yeah.
Quickly, because Hector has to leave by 2 o'clock.
I'm fine.
You're fine?
Yeah, we got time.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's kind of been the thing that's been holding it up is I wanted to have assets of us to actually put on the Patreon. Otherwise, it's like, what's it for?
It'll be boring.
It'll be boring. But we've teased a lot of the goals and the tiers that we want to do, and I came up with one last night that I think will be really fun. It's for a lower tier, but I think like it's a fun thing to do every month.
Fun, that's it. I mean, that's all we need is people to have fun.
It's a crossword puzzle.
What?
It's generating crossword puzzles.
Interesting.
All
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so let's get into it.
The first question comes from Emmanuel Peralta. If you were a filmmaker, what superhero movie would you want to make, writing and or directing? Thank you so much for the question.
That's a great question.
That is a great question.
So what's it? What is it? What is it, Cynthia?
Oh, she said she's waiting for the Doom musical. I mean, all three of us. That's a collaboration.
So are we.
That's a mega
one.
crossover movie that we all three of us would have to be in.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, I don't know. Let me think about it a little bit.
Is this a thing where like I magically am a filmmaker, like I wake up tomorrow and I'm a director?
Yeah.
And I already have a meeting.
You're Hector Navarro, director.
You wake up tomorrow, you're J.J. Abrams, Hector Navarro.
Well, then it's Booster Gold because I'm gonna help out our buddy Pooch.
That's right.
That's honestly
Booster
like
Gold
the real,
movie.
the for real. But that's something that's kind of already in development, kind of. So it's like, should I take advantage and try to do like the obscure? What isn't in development?
Well,
Static
I mean,
Shock.
Not even what's not even in development. What would you want to do? Like, is
for
there
me, it's
something in your
Superman.
head?
100%, it's Superman. I would like to co-write it with Hector.
Wow.
Because I think that would be. I think we'd have a really good perspective on who the character is, what the values of the character is.
He would be an immigrant.
That's right.
Refugee.
That's right.
Alien. Who fights an evil billionaire in the name of truth. So basically, Superman. He would just be.
He'd be Superman. He'd be Superman. What a crazy thought.
Be a journalist and not the enemy.
If we could bring in a female co-writer, who would it be?
Oh my God, for Superman?
Yes. Because I would like that. That would be awesome. It could be a comic book writer.
Yeah. Ooh. I might be Gail Simone.
That's what I was thinking.
It might be Gail Simone. She's so fun to follow on Twitter. But I'm a huge fan of her work.
Yeah.
It might be Patty Jenkins.
That's also
just
a good one.
Just be like, and then you know what? And because we in this magical wish, we realize that we're not actually qualified. We're just like, Patty, you directed.
Right.
Thanks for letting us help. Please do the movie. That's what it would end up being.
Sorry.
Yeah. Have fun with Henry.
Yeah.
We'll just go on set when you guys do cool shit.
Yeah.
That's
Producer credit.
That's right. That's what I would want to do. That's like a big passion for me.
And I normally would have said Spider-Man.
Yeah.
and then Spider-Verse came out.
Yeah, exactly.
And in a way said
Have fun,
so
Pete
much.
Ramsey.
No shit. In a way, said so much of what I would say with Spider-Man, either live action or animated. Like if I directed a Spider-Man movie that was the third Tom Holland Spider-Man movie, I would just use it as an excuse to introduce Miles Morales.
Right.
And it's like they already did that.
Exactly. They already did
that. So like maybe I would do like the death of Spider-Man.
And
just wreck people, break people's hearts, and
That's
call it the death of Spider-Man.
That's a good idea.
And it would be Tom Holland's last Spidey movie.
And it's one of those things of like you're just gonna own it. And lean into it and be like,
that's what it is.
We're calling this movie The Death of Spider-Man. It is what you think it is.
It is what you think it is. And the challenge is we're still going to make you cry. But
exactly.
Film, like, you know what's coming.
You're still going to care.
And you're going to think, oh, he's got to find a way to come back. And you're still going to care.
And you're still gonna care.
And at the very end, we'll introduce Miles, and you'll be like,
And that's what I would want to see. That's what I would want to see from DC and Marvel. I want them to do one of those movies where it's like the death of blank hero, and like own it and lean into it and say like we're evolving the universe. In order for this thing to keep going and have a life, it needs to change and needs to adapt.
America.
That
could be
that's a good idea.
That could be.
You're gonna love this character. You're gonna weep. We're gonna make you love this character so much you never realize you loved this character that much.
Yeah, exactly.
That's man.
Yeah.
Or Plastic Man. Fuck it.
Why not?
Or Plastic Man.
I think what I would do, I would probably take a more producer route and start my own animation company. But put out anthology series because there's so many different versions of these characters and so many different great stories that I feel like an Animatrix style anthology series. I would hire all the animators from the Line Animation. If you guys don't follow the Line Animation on Instagram or whatever, they have the best animators in the game doing stuff. Like they just animated that new music video for the Gorillas. Like they're doing a bunch of video game art and stuff like that. The Line Animation has the best animators on the planet. So what I would do is basically hire all those people and then do short anthology series. The Line Animation.
That looks awesome.
That's great.
Hire them, do anthology series of all these different versions of these characters that we love, because there's as much as we have the definitive characters, there's also so many other characters that you could go into that also deserve their time in the sun. And so do like something with the budget of Spider-Verse, but an anthology of like the Spider-Verse, but think about that for like the different versions of Superman, because there's the Red Sun version of Superman. There's the the mullet version of Superman. Like there's just so many
the Injustice
different
universe.
Injustice universe. So I think that would be a cool way to really like infuse the genre with new stories, just like the comic book writers are coming up with new stories all the time. All the movies are just basically basing all their stuff off that. So I'm just like, well, why don't the movies come up with their own versions of stuff like that? So you might be able to get some cool stuff out of it.
And DC's been doing that a lot recently. They've been taking a lot of storylines and adapting them to animation. But I agree. I personally would like to see a variance in the style.
Exactly.
Because I think a lot of it has been, not all of it's been very Bruce Timm-like, but they all sort of kind of like have a very, they look like they're all pulled from the same
similar.
cloth.
Like if you look
Which was on purpose.
Look at all the artists, because so what the Line Animation does that's great is it tags all their animators who are working, and you look at each one of their pages, they're all
their own
so
style.
different. They're all so cool. But they all bring in their fresh flavor. So I would hire each one of them to do their own version of like this one character.
Awesome.
It would be amazing. But you know,
that's cool.
That's my dream.
Thank you so much for the question. Annoying Ranter with the next question. Do you have this is similar but different also. Do you have a dream project, original idea, or adaptation that you would like to be adapted? And if so, with what production team? I'm talking cast, composer, director.
That's that's a lot. That's a lot of stuff.
You're asking us to make an entire movie.
Pitch your movie now.
And also, I don't necessarily want to give away the next guy has a name close to mine, but
I think he might be Italian
project,
too.
Original or adaptation that you would like to see adapted, and if so, with what production team?
Honestly, if our
Cast,
idea
composer,
ever gets off the ground, I would want to work with Lin-Manuel to do the Doom musical.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Like, dude, come on.
Can that just be our answer?
Yeah.
Doom the musical?
Doom the musical.
Directed by Lin-Manuel Miranda?
I got a bunch of different ones. I want a Johnny Quest movie, and I don't care who makes it, but I want the composer to be Michael Giacchino.
Of course.
Of
course.
That needs to happen.
Yeah.
I want
Robert Rodriguez, man.
They said,
have him make
he'd be
it.
Dope. Yeah, right?
Alita is so good.
They said,
not enough people gave it love.
Yeah. They said they're doing regular Pokemon after Detective Pikachu.
Yeah.
That they're putting that out there. Legendary's putting that out there, and like I hope that's the case. I would want to do that. I'd want to work on that, and just have it be great. So what else? Oh, I'd want to do a Mario movie where Mario is Jack Black, Luigi is
KG,
Justin Long. Yeah, no, KG. No, KG. Justin Long. Okay. Princess Peach is Scarlett Johansson, and the voice of Bowser is Vin Diesel, and it would be an action comedy 4-quadrant.
Absolutely.
So fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah, come on.
Will you have Raptor Yoshis in there though?
No, but like a cute, like rideable Yoshi would be in it.
Like a nice rounded Yoshi.
Yes, but still
with red boots.
You look at it and you go, "That's a real reptile," but it's cute.
Yeah.
And I'll find a way to make the red boots work. Yeah, at least the saddle. At least the red saddle.
If they made, look at Detective Pikachu. They made all of that shit work.
Yeah,
and it looks
they really
awesome.
did.
It looks awesome. And it still looks like a Pokemon from the video game and stuff. So I would do that.
They did amazing.
You know what's funny is like after if you would have pitched Jack Black prior to me seeing Welcome to the Jungle, I would have been like, I don't know.
But
after seeing
I'm going off of Nacho.
Seeing Nacho and then seeing Jumanji, I'm like, he is so good.
He is Mario.
He's so good.
Yeah,
he'd be amazing.
We're lucky. What's his name? Ryan Unicum just posted. Do you guys realize how lucky you are that you're living in the same lifetime as Jack Black?
I know.
Yeah.
The man is a legend.
He's magic.
The man is
actual magic.
Follow his YouTube channel, Jablinski Games. It's hilarious. He just basically formed this channel so he can, I feel like, I don't know if it's true, but just to hang out with his sons.
Yeah.
So he just goes with the sons. They go play old video games, and he gets them like games to like play outside, and he plays with them.
Yeah.
And it's fucking awesome.
It'd be so cool to have Jack Black come here and do something with his kids.
Yeah, dude.
Do an RPG.
Come
a
over
Jumanji
here, Jack Black.
RPG with Jack Black.
You are welcome here, Jack Black.
The doors are open for you.
Out.
Thank you for the question, by the way. The next question comes for, I'm going to let you read the name.
Is this it right here?
Yes,
that's it. It's Jablinski Games.
It's the
Subscribe.
best. It's the best. Yeah.
Hello, Jack Black here.
You get to read the name because it's so close to yours.
Hector Giovanni Navarrete. Hey, Hyper Homies. Navarrete.
Yeah.
Hey, Hyper Homies. Love the show, and y'all are great. So I'm a fairly new follower, viewer, listener.
Thank you.
So for us, semi and full-on newbies, could y'all give a brief history refresher on how you three guys met and what led y'all to make this show, kind of your guys' path on YouTube? I know y'all have mentioned on the show brief history details. For example, Augustine and I'm working together at the same company. Also, you guys have mentioned y'all used to have a similar career path, and it's evolved. If I'm not mistaken, I think y'all were in the VFX industry. Could you speak a little bit about that, how y'all got into that, and what careers y'all thought of having/have, and how it's evolved over time, and how have y'all managed to stick through it all? Love you three and your banter and insight. Y'all are great. Best uses of y'alls.
I know, lots of y'alls.
All the y'alls.
I feel like we should just
you pretty much covered it.
I feel like we should print a timeline of like how it all went.
2012.
The Hyper Hero Cinematic Universe timeline.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yes.
No, this started. I mean, you and I started back in 2006, I think.
In college?
In college. That's when we first met.
13 years.
It was an acting class. Mm-hmm. I remember it was the redhead teacher, Deb. Yeah.
Yep.
It was an improv acting class.
Yep.
There was no better place that I could have met Hector. And so after that, I think we only had that one class. Lost contact. I think we were in the same group actually for this one project we were doing.
Yeah.
Lost contact, and then I got hired at my first VFX job in 2010. You were there when?
I was there in 09.
09, and then I came in right after you. Yeah, so
at
you
Legend
got hired
3D.
there. You got hired at Legend, and then you came in.
I came in June 2010.
Okay,
cool.
so you
right
came
in the middle of the Shrek movies.
Oh, you came in a couple months after me.
Yeah.
Then. And so then we all worked together. And then we all decided.
I knew you.
Right.
Because you and I were on the same team at one point, and everyone kept getting us confused.
Yeah, everybody called me Adam, but nobody called him Augustine because nobody can say my name.
Yeah, so that was the fun part. I had met you at a house party that you had once.
Oh, that house party.
Yeah.
Oh, that house was fun.
That house was fun. So, like, I knew you better than I knew you because you and I were not on the same team.
Mm-hmm.
And then it wasn't until we moved here to L.A.
that
we started sort of, like, talking and hanging out more.
Yeah.
That's basically it.
And then so here, and then we moved here in 2011, 2012. I remember.
The year before Avengers.
2012.
The year before Avengers.
Yeah, and so that is when... like 2013 is when you threw out the idea, right, of doing this YouTube show.
Yeah, because 2011 we were working together, and then like, we worked on Avengers, and they let us go.
Yeah,
but that was cool.
Yeah. My name's in the credit, homie, so I don't even.
Mine didn't make it.
Tripping. I know. I'm sorry.
But we started talking at lunch all the time about this stuff.
Right.
And then we came back. We ended up going back to Legend. We worked on Mad Max and Winter Soldier and all this stuff, and we continued going to lunch. And at that point, you had left.
Yeah, peaced out.
You went to go work in the voiceover acting industry.
Correct.
But you and I continued going to lunch. We kept talking. And then I watched a lot of YouTube content. I liked watching a lot of people talk about movies. And I started noticing, I'm like, man, it's so weird. Superheroes, they're kind of just being talked about with other movies, but they're not really getting all the attention that they deserve. There's so much stuff coming out. Marvel's killing it. DC's starting to make stuff. So I was like, so I came to Augustine and I said, would you be down? Would you be interested?
Over one faithful sushi dinner.
That's
where we
right.
ate way too much.
I know. It was so good.
And at that point, Adam tells me, he's like, I think we need a third person. I'm like, do you know Hector Navarro?
We need to assemble the third Avenger.
We have the third Avenger here, and you don't even know it.
Yeah.
And then I was at a gym working out, and then this fool showed up.
You punched the punching bag straight to the back wall.
Off, but then I picked up another one and put it on there.
Put it on.
And this guy come in, he's like, trouble sleeping? And I was like, I've been asleep for 70 years. I think I've had my fill. And then this dude handed me a file, and I was like, what are you trying to do? Trying to get me back in the world? And he was like, trying to save it.
He's like, the YouTube initiative.
It was the YouTube. Yeah.
That's the title. Yeah, and then we started in 2014.
Film pundits.
The Film Pundits. Yeah. The very first episode was shot in my bedroom, and in order to fit all three people, I had to take my bed and put it against the wall, and then I hung my comforter. It was a real shit show. It was a shit show. But then we stuck with it. We did it for a while. And we started just expanding. We didn't want to do trailer reactions because we thought, that's dumb. Who wants to watch somebody watch a trailer? And then we hopped over to superhero news. We started doing trailer reactions, and then people started to kind of know who we were. And then we built that up really, really well. And then we came to Hyper, and we've just been building and building and building and building and building. And now we're at 100,000 subscribers. And it's 5 years later, and that's kind of crazy.
And it's dope.
Yeah.
It's so
this
much
guy,
fun.
this guy is just everywhere.
I know.
It's crazy.
You're all over the place.
Guys, I gotta go. I gotta go
do another game.
I got some celebrity meetings that I gotta go.
Yeah, celebrity meetings. I just want to watch the YouTube of Jack Black.
Just wait. Just plow through all those episodes later on. It's so good. And he just hangs out mainly in LA too.
Yeah.
And so it's just him and his kids just running around. And his kids could care less that their dad is Jack Black.
For sure.
They're just like, get away from me, Dad.
Most celebrity kids are like that. A lot of them are like that.
Okay, you know how he made that movie A House with a Clock in its walls?
Yeah.
He posted a video titled A House with a Pin in Its Balls. What is this? Jack Black, what are you doing?
Pinballs. He goes to button mash.
Oh, my God.
Does
he really?
He plays
That's
pinball, yeah.
awesome.
He'll go out in the middle of the day with his kids. It's so great.
That's so cool. But yeah, so it's been a long history for us. I mean, you guys have known each other for almost 13 years. We've known
what? 13? Oh my God.
2006, dude.
I just blew your mind, didn't I?
Yeah.
Wow.
We've been friends for almost 8 years, 9 years now. It's been a long time. It's crazy. You don't really
tired already.
I know.
Fuck.
You don't realize it. You don't realize until you sit down and you start
memes.
talking about it. That it's wow, so much time has passed. But yeah, it's been so fun to see the evolution of this whole thing. And we got to hang out on Monday. We got to do this fun thing at DC, which is really cool. Yeah, that was really fun. And it's fun going to cons. We're gonna go to WonderCon tomorrow. So if you guys are out there, we're doing a meetup. I'll post in the description. I'll post the information about it. I think the location might be changing, but we're gonna do one in Anaheim. We're just gonna hang out. It's really just a hangout. There's some stuff that they're doing that I think could be really fun. There's a Dark Phoenix panel today at 3, and I'm like, oh, y'all gonna release a new trailer
Interesting.
finally?
Okay.
So yeah, it's just been really
them
fun.
Going it's canceled.
It's
guys.
canceled.
Sorry.
Guys,
sorry, Disney said no more.
Y'all heard of Disney before?
Yeah.
Because they just bought it up.
Yeah, so it's been cool to sort of see the evolution of everything that we've been doing, and we're gonna keep doing it. Thank you for the question. Ronan Unchained. How you doing, buddy? Hello, hermanos. We're 4 months away from SDCC, and I was wondering, is there any plans on you guys going this year? I'm assuming Hector might already be going for a DC/Nerdist work, but are you, Adam and Augustine planning stuff out? I'd love to meet up with you guys again. It's annual tradition.
Probably.
We're
most
going
likely,
to Comic-Con.
Most likely, yes.
There's no reason that I would miss a Comic-Con. Plus, it's really fun to go home. Basically, we're going home to San Diego. To go and enjoy.
We're all sharing a bed together.
Oh, well, we are. Shh.
I thought that was the deal.
Trying to spoon?
Hey, I'm in.
Hey, listen, keep that on the down low.
I want to squeeze into that.
We'll announce it later.
Be like a silverware set.
Wow.
Like this, everybody's just.
Are you the spoon or the knife?
I want
your personality, a little knifey,
I want
little stabby.
You three boys to feed me a California burrito in bed. That's what I
want.
That's what I want my
all
San
the
Diego
California
Comic-Con
burritos.
to be. That's
Look,
what I want
let's call it how it is.
Yeah.
We go to San Diego for Comic Con for the California burritos.
That's it.
Basically.
And last year we were lucky enough that Mike Hess was kind enough to give us a bunch of free beer. So,
that's right.
Cool. Yeah.
You know,
And
I think
we drank a lot.
Zach organized it really well as well, but I don't think we're going to do anything on that level again.
No, I think that scale was too big.
Yeah, that was way too big. We bit off a lot more than we could chew because we were just constantly
lost
working.
Lucas for 3 days.
Yeah, he was just in the abyss of his
gone.
computer.
He was in the abyss of his mind.
Yeah.
He did not sleep.
Yeah.
He shot a music video and put it out.
He shot a man, a homeless man.
He shot a man, yeah.
He was in Mexico for 3 days, hiding out.
Jesus.
Yeah, it was crazy.
This just took a turn.
Yeah, man.
You're telling all the secrets, Hector. Come on.
1 minute I'm texting him like, I got your Lego Voltron. The next minute he's like, I'm in Mexico.
He's like, I'm in Mexico, guys. I'll tell you later.
I need you to come pick me up.
Yeah.
Shot a man.
But yeah, so we're going to do something different this year. We want to do something smaller scale.
Yeah.
It's kind of been a back and forth discussion of like, are we going to go to any panels? Should we just like skip the panels and just watch the trailers? But like the panels are fun, and I think being in the panel this year for Marvel to announce whatever their next thing is would be a fun treat.
It would be cool, but who knows? Like, we don't know what the situation is.
Yeah, so we'll see. We're still figuring it out. We'll let you guys know.
Early, man.
Too early to tell.
But yes, we will do. If we do, we will do some sort of a meetup.
Yeah,
because it would be in poor taste to not do one. The next question comes from Rahan G. Hey, Hyper Homies, I've been watching all of your shows, trailer reactions and reviews ever since I saw your BVS trailer reaction video years ago. God bless you. I notice you don't mention much about superhero animated feature films, in particular DC films. Kind of going back to the question that we talked about earlier. Many of these animated films have so much character and heart written in them that I wish some live-action superhero films would adapt some of the creativity and meaningful lessons that animated films portray. That being said, what is your favorite DC animated feature film? I recently watched Batman and Mr. Freeze Sub-Zero after many years and choked up at the ending. The Death of Superman animated film did Superman justice and made up for what was lacking in the BVS film. It had so much emotion and depth within the characters in such a short amount of time and made me care so much to the point where I again choked up at the end. Hopefully I get to see the three of you talk a bit more about these great films and others. Thanks. Thank you so much for the in-depth question.
That's a good one. And one I really appreciate, obviously.
That's why I had to pick it.
Yeah, it's the good one.
That's a very good question. That is something that I would really like to do more of this year. I get quite a few of the titles from DC, and I kind of watch a lot of them, and they kind of just like kind of go back into my shelf, and I don't talk about them. Yeah. But I think it would be worth to talk about, not just from a storytelling perspective, but also from the perspective of people who love animation, who at one point did animation, to talk about the art form itself.
Well, so the thing that I have with these, specifically the DC Universe ones, is that they're real hit and miss.
Yeah, same.
Some of them are really good, and some of them are just real bad. And something that kind of bugs me is I know right away when they spend zero money on the animation.
Sure.
When it's just like cardboard, stiff, everything looks the same, and it's that kind of stuff. I don't pay attention to it because I know that they're just putting this out just to keep their animators' salaries paid, basically. Like they don't have the heart behind it. Now, don't get it wrong. There are some that are amazing, and they do deserve your time. But I've mostly been impressed with the animated series stuff, like the Green Lantern Corps CG, the old school CG one. Yeah, that one was amazing. Not DC. What's it called? Obviously the Justice League stuff back in the day. But that was a special. Young Justice, like all this stuff. Like back in the day, that was special. I haven't caught up on the Young Justice, which which is on my list. Yeah, on my list. But I feel
Bro, do you have DC Universe?
I know I don't.
Guys, if you go and you use the code DCU or BAD80 Adam DCU, you can get 20% off an annual subscription. Yeah, I might have one for you.
Okay, cool. Thank you. So so they have some stuff, and I feel like they're just kind of straight to DVD kind of like releases, which tells me that they don't really care about what they're putting out, which sucks because that puts the whole genre of animation backwards. The giant leaps that Spider-Man Spider-Verse took it forward. It's just like kind of fodder for superhero people just to say, yeah, this story came out or like whatever. So I don't feel like a lot of animation companies are treating the DC universe with the respect that it deserves at this point.
It's tricky because that's a whole side of the industry, the direct-to-video market, which is always going to be different and way less budget by millions of dollars than a theatrically released animated film. And what Sony did with Spider-Man, they got lucky. They got lucky because Sony's been making those movies since open season in 2006, Sony Pictures Animation. And most of those I have not enjoyed, other than like Open Season, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, Surf's Up, which is an underrated gem.
Still, I can't believe people don't talk about Surf's Up as much as they should.
Those are fantastic, but then that's the same company that was like, cool, we'll do the animation for the live-action hybrid Smurfs. And we'll do Goosebumps starring JB. And we'll do all these movies that like, and Hotel Transylvania, which is like, Gendy's directing it, and it's amazingly animated, but it's an Adam Sandler movie. That's like, it's like, that's not funny. Sandler basically, it's kind of
you
what I'm
have
trying
to
get
be
at.
a fan of Adam Sandler to enjoy.
They got lucky that they found the right team. And then that team was so smart to go, well, what would you do? And treated every animator with that dream level of like, this is it, this is my shot. And every shot in Spider-Verse is phenomenal. And it will always be different than the direct-to-video market, which has a specific budget, which has it feels like sometimes an extension of the television series world. It does. Because it uses a lot of the same voice actors. It has a lot of the same animation techniques. And the problem is that when you would watch Batman the Animated Series, if you can really pay attention, you can tell this episode was done by their A studio, meaning they sent it to the one that's like going to knock it out a little bit more budget, considering their allowances. This episode was sent to their B studio or their C studio. So it's like, they're not spending as much time kind of polishing developing this one. With the problem when that happens with direct-to-video projects is the whole hour-and-a-half movie will either be A or B, as opposed to like a 20-minute episode that you're like, this isn't a great Batman episode, but it's still Batman.
But I'm going to wait for the next one.
Let's just get through it, and then the next up, So it's also tough to break out of that. I know exactly what Augustine's talking about when he talks about when he sits down to watch one of these things. Right off the bat, you can tell kind
of. From the first frame, I can tell.
The last one I think that I really, really loved was Batman: The Dark Knight Returns, because they were like straight up 2 movies to adapt the 4 issues. Like that was their A studio. Like that was the talent.
It was
that
the
was
effort.
It was gorgeous. And a lot of the stuff from Justice League War until now, I love certain moments in it, and it's overall getting better, sort of higher up for me. But there's still stuff that feels like this isn't quite as cohesive as the Justice League Unlimited series. And they're trying to make it all connect. And I'm like, but Batman Bad Blood doesn't really feel like it's an extension of Son of the Batman. Doesn't really feel like it's Batman versus Robin. Doesn't really feel like Justice League Throne of Atlantis is in that same. Like, it's all kind of a little weird. And then when you get to the Death of Superman, I liked it, but I didn't love it. And again, just a lot of those movies are hit and miss. But what would be so great is to talk about them more in depth, is to watch them, is to, you're getting access to them. But even to go back, my favorite of all time is Batman Beyond, Return of the Joker.
We all have DC Universe.
We have DC Universe. My favorite direct-to-video is Return of the Joker. That thing is a masterpiece to me. Like, I love that movie for so many reasons. But to go back even further, like, it'd be dope to watch Mask of the Phantasm again and be like, was this the first one? Let's kick it off. And to try to watch and kind of see how they go. To talk about the animation, not just like what happens in the story, but like to talk about, the style of this one is, Superman Brainiac attacks, not great. And we can talk about why. And it's like specific instances in the animation or whatever, like tend to take us out or whatever, or why something is so great. Why does, Batman Sub-Zero hold up the Mr. Freeze story?
And this other story doesn't. Yeah, that's a good idea. But I think that's the weird thing with animation is just that it's in this weird niche place where it's in between a kids market and the adult market or whatever. I must be a kid because I fucking love all this stuff. I know. Like I don't know what they're talking about. I don't know difference in market.
I think it would take Warner Brothers Animation to do a theatrically released animated film on the level of Spider-Verse that doesn't do Bruce Timm style. I love that style, but you got to do something completely new. Something like what Spider-Verse did, where you're doing something new. Take a story that is really endearing. And honestly, like, it could be a Justice League story. Do something very endearing that makes you love all of those characters for all the different reasons that they're so great, and do it in an incredibly new artistic way. And I think that will not only encourage people to go watch more animation, hopefully, but also it'll hopefully encourage people to go watch more stuff from those individual characters.
Exactly.
Batman animated series, Superman animated series, all the Wonder Woman, just to really kind of submerge yourself in that DC history, because there can be so many good things to do.
And right now, there's so many other good animated things on right now that I think people should be paying attention to. Like, my 3 favorite shows on TV are The Amazing World of Gumball, Teen Titans Go, We Bare Bears, And We Bare Bears is awesome.
Yeah.
They're really, really cool. And a special shout out to DuckTales. DuckTales is really
great.
cool.
The new DuckTales?
They've revamped it,
Yeah.
and they have amazingly talented animators working on it, and the storyline is just like, it's all just, it's such a fresh take on DuckTales that it really makes you want to jump in. There was an episode where Darkwing Duck showed up.
Yeah.
Like, it's really cool,
What?
dude.
They're going there. They're going there.
Yeah. Like, it's
Awesome.
really cool stuff. So I highly recommend, if DC and all this other animation stuff is not doing it for you, check out the animated TV stuff right now. It's everybody's on board.
Yeah, we should do it. I mean, because they don't come out every week, every few months.
Yeah.
You know, Justice League versus the Fatal Five is coming out.
Oh, that one I'm really excited about.
The thing that I really like that you brought up in
Did you see, you were there for that
Yeah,
panel?
the thing that you brought up in the panel that I loved is taking characters like Jessica Cruz and pairing them up with other characters that you probably wouldn't, because they didn't, in the comics, they didn't exist at the same time.
Right, exactly.
But now animation gives you that opportunity where you can mix and match all
Yeah.
that stuff, and that's so cool.
Yeah.
That was a cool panel.
That was a really good panel.
I had
Good job,
a lot of questions for those guys.
It was great, though. I
We were
loved it.
talking about all of this, like adapting comic book histories, and like
Yeah.
that one I'm excited about.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, it was a really good panel. Really good panel.
Yeah.
But that's going to wrap it up for us. Thank you so much for the questions.
Thank you.
If you haven't jumped over to the Patreon, check it out. We're going to be completely revamping it, adding brand new tiers, rewards, and goals. We're going to be including questions. Questions will be a part of it now, so that way we can answer your guys' questions, because we always get them asked on social media all the time, but we want to make sure we open it up to people who are not just on Twitter, but also Instagram, Facebook, the YouTube channel, anywhere and everywhere. Make sure, if you guys are listening to the podcast, jump over to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/hyperrpg. Check out the video, comment, leave all your likes and all that good stuff. If you're watching on YouTube, jump over to the podcast. Take us on the go. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play. We're literally on like 12 different streaming podcast platforms. So just go into your favorite one, type Hyper Heroes. If we're not on there, you can leave a comment below. Let me know where I need to put it, and I will do it. But yeah, that's going to wrap it up for me. Any other closing thoughts for you, Chance?
Whoa,
Here we go on Spotify, baby.
Ooh, what
Take
is that?
that.
Episode number 69? Nice. Nice.
Oh,
Your favorite.
Yeah, nice.
Nice.
Your favorite.
The James Gunn episode.
Any other closing thoughts before we wrap this bad boy out?
I love you guys, and
love you guys
we'll
too,
do it. We'll do it again.
Your
next
birthday's
week.
coming up.
Yeah, man.
Don't
We're
remind me.
gonna
Oh,
party.
come on,
I'm turning
man.
35.
We're gonna
Dude,
we're gonna
that's
party.
awesome.
35.
You know what that means? We have to run you ragged into the ground, homie. We have to like get you
Break
fucked
you.
up. Yeah. If you're freaking out about 35, you have to do that dumb thing where you're like, I'm still young, I can party, and then you just mess your body up.
Just let me
And
take
two
it to
drinks.
the bar.
Yeah.
2 drinks, and
Yeah,
I'm done.
Exactly.
I'm done.
You'll be like, I want to go home and take a nap.
Yeah,
You'll be like,
like,
no,
guys,
man.
No mimis for
You
you.
got to party like you're young. You wanted this, just like Jack Reacher. Remember, you asked for this.
That's right.
Yeah.
You asked for this.
I didn't, though.
Well, then I'm saying you better be happy about the
Damn it.
age you're turning.
Okay. All right. I'm happy. Leave me alone. I'm happy.
Good.
It's gonna be fun.
I'm
It's gonna be fun. We're gonna
Guys,
break you real
have
good.
have a great, safe, fun weekend.
Yes. Have a great, safe, fun weekend. If you're at WonderCon, come hang out. We'll post all the information for the meetup. Just find out on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube comments, wherever.
Yeah, it's Cesar Chavez Day. Go make a Mexican friend, or
Yeah.
go,
Go
eat
watch
some
the
tacos.
movie.
Go watch,
Go
the,
watch
movie. Amazon.
or learn a
Hulu.
new word in Spanish or
That's right.
something.
Yeah.
Something.
Eat a
I
fresh.
do.
Here's
Eat
one.
a fresh vegetable
I got one
because
for you. I got
you
one for
can.
you. Semáforo. Learn what that is. Go do
that's
it.
a
I
good
know what
one.
it is.
That's a good
Yeah.
one.
I know what it is.
Yeah, yeah.
It's similar to Czech, but it's fine. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll catch you guys in the next episode. See you later.